Welcome back to my channel. This video will probably shock some people, but I'm going to do some defending of Mike's Philippine journey. There are a couple reasons for this. One is that even if someone is going around misrepresenting other vloggers, I don't think it is right to misrepresent them. Sure, they may deserve the karma, and I'm not going to feel sorry for them, but the thing is, if you make bogus attacks on someone who actually deserves to be attacked for legitimate reasons, you'll actually be undermining your own credibility, so fewer people will pay attention to you when you make a legitimate attack. Think of it as a variation of the boy who cried wolf. When I was on YouTube and got around to pointing out the unethical things Mike was saying about other channels, I had plenty of people who were telling me other things about him. In almost every case, I couldn't use what they said. A few are worth considering if more information could be found, but until it was, I had to reserve judgment. Maybe the most common thing I was told is that either Mike had never been in the Philippines, or that during the over 2 years he claimed to be there during COVID, he really wasn't. So let me tell you my position on both, even though it serves to defend Mike. The claim he was never in the Philippines just didn't seem to have any logic behind it. To take just one obvious thing, why would a person take the time to learn the language pretty well if he was never there? I think there has been video that does show him there, in a bar or something, but even if it can't be proven that the bar is in the Philippines, I just can't get past the fact that he knows the language. So, barring some huge revelation, I won't be claiming that Mike has never been in the Philippines, and I suggest those who are making that claim just stop saying so unless you have some real evidence. But what about that period during COVID? There was some odd stuff, but I wouldn't say it reaches the level of actual evidence. More like just an oddity. You see, people were, and still are, saying that Mike never showed anything outside his room, not even looking out the window. I agree, that is very strange, especially during COVID when you would think it would be interesting just to see something through the window or how empty the streets were or something. When I was first told about these details, I asked people if they had watched every second of those videos. After all, maybe he did show things outside and they just missed that part. As I recall, I don't think anyone said they watched every second. To be honest, even if someone said they did, I know human nature, and people who watch the vast majority will often say they watched every second, even if they didn't. They may even believe they did. Still, it was at least interesting if he never showed anything outside. So what did I do? Well, I downloaded every one of those videos. As I recall, there were about 150 during the over 2-year period he said he was in the Philippines. I watched every second of every one of them. But I didn't listen because all I was looking for was whether the scene ever changed from his usual dark room. So I loaded each of the videos into a video player that let me review it at 60 times normal speed. Even at that speed, I would be able to see if the scene suddenly changed. If it did, I'd then go back to take a closer look. It took a lot of time, but when I finished, I never saw anything outside that room. So that much was confirmed, but it just means it's odd, but it doesn't prove he wasn't in the Philippines. This is the kind of thing I keep in mind though, just in case new information comes up. But I recently saw someone make another interesting comment, though they offered no proof. They said that in one of his videos, when he said he was in the Philippines during COVID, he showed himself cooking in the kitchen. However, later on when he was in the US, they said he was cooking again and the kitchen was exactly the same. Now, if that is true, that would be noteworthy evidence. But unless someone can actually show it, I can't use it. Another way people make unfair attacks is just a generic name calling. Probably most of you know the common ones because they are pretty typical anytime people don't like someone else, whether justified or not. So we'll see people being called gay or saying they live in their mother's basement. Some others are particularly common in channels like Mike's, things like simp, weak men, beta male, etc. So Mike deserves that karma. However, what you should be asking yourself before making such attacks is who are you trying to convince? People who already agree with you? If so, these silly attacks aren't changing anything. How about the people who support the person you are attacking? Well, in most cases they are doing their own name calling and you aren't going to change their minds. That leaves those who don't know the people involved, or at least not very well. This name calling isn't going to get them on your side. Everyone has seen similar name calling. It doesn't impress anyone. Once these neutral viewers see the meaningless name calling, you just cause them to take you less seriously. This is why I carefully make my videos, scripting everything. I methodically lay out my case, normally using clips to back me up, and I'm already prepared for the typical counterattack which misrepresents what I actually said. But since the people I criticize have serious problems dealing with my approach, they do resort to censorship via false copyright strikes, so I often don't use clips now. But as you have seen in my post the last 2 Fridays in May, I have proven I can back up what I claim. Trolls usually don't mind the name callers. In fact, a clever troll can use them to his advantage, like when Kuya John just kept ranting while Mike was talking on a live stream. What would neutral observers see or hear? Well, they'd hear the repetitious ranting, and they'd see Mike calmly talking. Sure, they probably couldn't understand what Mike was saying because of the ranting, but they could see Mike seemingly being calm and rational. Thus, Mike wins the uncommitted crowd. With my approach, Mike has serious problems. He can't play his word games or use debating tricks. He knows that anything he tries to twist about what I really said, I can just make another video pointing out what he did. The situation is reversed. Now it is his tactics that work fine with those already on his side, but not so well with the uncommitted people who pay attention to both of us. Which, of course, is why Mike has to censor me instead. Can't have people hearing both sides. I obviously have no problem attacking people, but I do it based on what unethical things people do that I can point to. It's far more work, but also far more effective at reaching open-minded people. Thanks for watching, and don't let the trolls stop you from speaking out, but preferably without the name calling.